Maple Hollow Park out here on the Key Peninsula on a rather rainy evening. We just wrapped up most of our beach monitoring procedures, but are about to do a sea star wasting survey and some oyster measuring. So we're gonna walk by the group shouting out numbers as they measure the sizes of oysters, and then Ashley and I are gonna go on an adventure to see what cool sea stars we see as we go. So if you could, in the comments, let us know where you're tuning in from. That would be perfect for us. It's good for our grant numbers and things. And of course, if you want to share this video, we're always excited to bring people to the beach virtually during this time that we can't meet in person. So thank you for all of you who are joining already, you little night owls, you. The weird thing about winter time is the tides are lowest at night. And so this nice low tide, it's about a negative 1.99 this evening. And so we're gonna go look for the sea stars that are exposed. So I'm gonna flip our camera around, introduce you to Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Person in the dark here. And we're just gonna kind of walk towards the water. It is a wet night. We were gonna do this broadcast a little bit earlier, but it was very windy and extra rainy, so we don't exactly have a break in the rain right now, but it's better than it was earlier. So these little lights out here are the crew measuring oysters, so you'll just hear them yelling numbers. Of course, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments. What did Kenzie found a gunnel? Oh, it's so cute.
Oh, baby.
This is a fish that can breathe through its skin. So as long as it's wet, it's doing well. I'm guessing you found that under a nice rock.
I found it under a nice rock.
Oh, lovely. They look very eel-like, but there's no true eels in the Puget Sound. Only eel-like fish. You can kind of see its little pectoral fins. Oh, it's so cute. I always forget, I'm getting better at my fish identification, but whether it's a saddleback gunnel or the like crescent gunnel. I don't know if you, I don't know. We'll do some gunnel research. I know there's some good resources, so kind of like looking at its little head.
Kind of looks like a crescent.
Yeah. Oop, they're slippery. Well, that's a fun find here. Awesome. Good contrast with these nice warm orange gloves. Love it. Alright, well, happy oyster measuring to you all. We're gonna keep making our way to the nice low tide here. I don't know. Oh yeah. Well, earlier we could see the moon for a little bit. It's a nice big full moon. I think it's the second full moon of December maybe. And so that I think makes it a wolf moon. So yeah, there's the light of daylight. We're gonna make it with our measly little lamps. I will apologize in advance for the wind. I'll do my best to shield the phone with my body so it's less windy, but it's just a weathery day. Or not day, it's a weathery evening. I'm noticing a lot of shrimp in this puddle. Yeah, you guys see their glowing eyeballs. That's kind of fun. Ooh, Ashley's got the chitin eyes. She found the cutest chitin when we were doing our presence absence survey. Like, I don't know, smaller than my thumbnail. There's a nice woody chitin here. There's short little bristles and the girdle that kind of edges into each of those 8 shells here. Nice. But no sea stars yet. For those of you kind of in on the sea star news, in early December, the sunflower star was listed as critically endangered. And part of that is because of this community science work that Harbor Wild Watch collaborates with the UC Santa Cruz and a huge range of other scientists. And that data helped make that listing possible. So We are looking for any sea star species. There's a couple that will measure. We see them. Again, trying to hold the brace against the wind here. I know there's one somewhere over here because we saw it when we were doing the quadrats. Now we just have to find it again. But anyways, if you're interested in learning more about kind of the sunflower stars being listed, our February cocktails and fishtail speaker will be from the group that helped kind of put together all that research and documentation to get it listed. So we'll be talking with Sarah more about that, and it would be great if you can tune in for our 2021 series. I'm getting excited with all the fun speakers who are getting lined up, so stay tuned for more on that as we enter 2021. Whoop whoop. Okay, so we'll look for that. I don't know. We're missing it. It is pretty wavy out there. The wind is blowing these waves in. Woo! Probably hear in our voice like that little chill cold. I don't know, Ashley, how are you feeling? Feeling a little chilly. Thank goodness for rain gear. And again, we are looking around for sea stars that we can find. So far, what was that?
They're all hiding from us.
They're all hiding. Sneaky sea stars. Yeah, we are, I think, early on the low tide swing, so all our somewhat mobile critters hopefully haven't had enough time to move to the lower areas. But we never know. We will give you all tuning in a little pause, and we'll take a peek at a rock so we can not make you so seasick out there. I'm noticing we have a nice live sand dollar here. When we look at them, you can't see the hole where their mouth is. You know it's alive and well because it's covered in these short purple spines. You can see that kind of star pattern on the front. That's a good clue that this is a relative of the sea stars. It's in the echinoderm phylum, which means spiny skin. Makes a lot of sense for a creature covered in little spines that you can see wiggling around ever so slightly. Really pretty. Cool. I'm also noticing a little plate limpet. Nice little flat guy there. Or gal. Some sea lettuce. In the summertime, this will grow a lot. It's only 2 cells thick, which is kind of cool. But in the winter, there's not enough sunlight for it to be super prolific. So we just get little tufts here and there. See some unattached seagrass here, which is a good clue that there might be some eelgrass beds nearby. There's another little peek at a sand dollar hiding in the sand. These can be up to a meter below the sand surface here. These kind of bury in. We won't dig them up tonight, but impressive that you can find so many of those. Alright, any sea stars, Ashley? No sea stars yet. A lot of sand dollars. Is this group of sand dollars called a sand dollar bed or a bank? I need to know. Here's a good example of a sand dollar that's not alive. As you can see the hole where its mouth is, and coincidentally, you can also see the hole where its butt is. How neat is that? Gotta know, right? Everything poops. Part of the deal. Mouth in the middle, butt on the edge. This is the eccentric sand dollar because it's not, I guess, perfectly symmetrical. Cool. Nice to see that on the beach. And again, we're out here at Maple Hollow, which Part of the fun deal of coming to the beach at night is coordinating getting the key to the gate. I got to meet with Tracy this morning. It was fun to see her and get the key and permission to do some science on the beach this evening. See something. Looks like a crab bit, but we're super thankful for the Key Pen Parks folks for letting us come out and be on their beach in the dark of night, even though sometimes we feel like, what are we doing in the rain and the cold? This is wild! But also kind of fun and awesome. And again, thanks for all of you who are tuning in tonight. We appreciate you coming to learn and have fun with us here at Arbor Wild Watch. This is a crab, but my guess is it's a molt. Because if I open it, you'll notice there's nothing inside. It's an empty crab shell, which means there's a bigger, better crab somewhere out there. It's also kind of fun to see this belly flap is open. So I know this is a male crab because it has a skinny, pointy belly flap, and it was open earlier. You got to see part of the male parts here. Sorry about my lighting, kind of washing it out here, but cool, little graceful crab molt. They look a lot like a Dungeness crab, but after the slightest point, there's this extra notch on their shell, which lets us know it's indeed a graceful crab and not a Dungeness. Also seeing these tube worms. There's a parchment tube worm, banded tube worms. It's like little straws sticking out of the sand. Whew, that wind's picking up. And we're just strolling across this sandy area, looking for stars, apparently in all the wrong places. Here's some field grass. Whenever we see this habitat, we want to walk carefully over it. This one's a small enough patch that we don't really have to worry about it. This is the non-native species, Zostra japonica. Japanese eelgrass. It's really thin, little tiny blades. Zostra marina, or marina, however you want to claim that. Has a thicker blade, and usually is a little bit deeper. Still kind of high in the intertidal zone here. Well, no, that's not true. We're low in the intertidal zone, but in the higher low part. That's not confusing at all. Woo! Words! Yeah. The high intertidal zone is actually a zone where you see the hard-shelled bodied creatures that are really good at not drying out. I think I'm always really impressed with life on the beach because it is a tough place to live out here. Like, I think we're surviving, Ashley and I. I don't know that we're entirely thriving. Maybe our toe warmers are helping a little bit here, but definitely missing some of those adaptations to survive being out of the water sometimes and underwater for the other half of the time. Wildlife here. Again, we're here at Maple Hollow Park looking for sea stars, and we're not finding any, which is okay because zeros are important too. Nice little clump of some red seaweed here. Looks like I would call this witch's hair. Kind of a thin red. There's another one called sea noodles that's got a thicker, kind of more juicy texture. I don't know. But sometimes you find stuff hanging out with that, but not today. And again, if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop those in the comments. We'll do our best to answer them as we go, or come back to them and type out some responses at a later date. But it's nice to get those questions answered live, I think. While we're out here, bringing the beach to you, wherever you are, hopefully nice and warm and cozy, on a couch somewhere. Here's a moon snail shell. No moon snail though, but plenty of other little snails. These are the dove snails, or Alia. I like them because they do a good job of waving.
And would you say that's on the smaller side for the moon snail, or is that?
Good question. Yeah, this is probably, well, it's hard to tell since it's broken. I'm guessing like the thickness when it was alive and well, it's probably a nice big moon snail. But broken down like this, it is kind of like a medium large, not super big, but not teeny tiny either. Here's that little Alia getting its little foot out to say, hey there, Facebook, how y'all doing? Just gonna wave my slimy little snail foot at y'all. Ah, yeah. Okay, Ashley found a sea star. Goodbye, little snail. Holy moly, yes, you did find a star. And this is a one worth measuring. Yay! Okay. This is an Okra Sea Star. Actually have... So we're measuring from the center out to the kind of longest, sometimes straightest arm.
So about 110 right there, plus... So it was about 145.
Right, so we'll do 140.
And where did you
So we have a nice data sheet here. So this is Pysastro Okracious, or the Okra Star. And I'm going to just take a look at it. I don't see any white lesions. There is, of course, these kind of white bumps, including this classic star shape. That's a good indicator of this lovely species here. Again, the purple star, or ochre star, Pysastro Okracious. And so this one looks nice and healthy. So on our data sheet, we have the Pysaster kind of columns. We rate disease on a scale from 0 to 4. And so since it's healthy, we give it a score of 0. And then in the 140 millimeters, we kind of round down on size. So we'll do a little tally for 1. And this is a great find. This is a nice big ochre star. Great to see that it's healthy, because this is one of the species that was hit really hard by the sea star wasting disease, or sea star wasting syndrome, I should say, which is partially due to a sea star associated densovirus, potentially warmer waters. Again, I'm excited to ask a lot of questions at the February Cocktails and Fishtails presentation coming up. Yeah, these are sea star folks. So really good to see this keystone species alive and well here on the beach at Maple Hollow on the Key Peninsula here in Washington State. Woohoo! Pretty great. Good find, Ashley. Okay. And again, this is kind of a timed roving survey, so we're probably adding a little bit of extra time for snail talk and seaweed searching. But in general, we're timing ourselves as we go along here and look for sea stars. So I think once we get to the houses up here, we're gonna swoop around. So we'll kind of walk a higher area of the beach looking for stars again. Hopefully find the star we saw earlier so we can measure that and look at the difference between a mottled star and a ochre star. Alright, so I will warn you that as we turn, it's going to get windier. So, sorry about that. But again, for those of you who are just tuning in, welcome to the beach. We're at Maple Hollow. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you have any questions. See a nice little childhood memory being shared there. We like that too. Yes. We've got another ochre star. Which, yeah, looks healthy. Again, those white bumps are ossicles, which are kind of like, I don't know, like the bones of a sea star, rather than actually, let me help you out. We have this little flexi cooler. gonna bend around if you want to try that.
So we're doing.
Yeah, we're measuring in the metric system. Yay, science! From the middle up to the tip.
It looks like it's almost exactly as long as
The other one, yeah.
it's about 150.
Perfect. And that looks nice and healthy. Once again, this one, the texture on the purple star, or ochre star, we see a lot of the purple ones, so I feel like we should call them purple stars more often, but ochre star, whatever you want to call it, they are really, like, they're solid. They're a beefy star. And these little soft parts between those ossicles are the gills. So sea stars do need to be underwater to breathe, but they again have the incredible adaptations to survive a pretty impressively long time out of water. Lucky for this one, tonight the tide's coming back in relatively soon, and it's pretty low on the beach, so it won't be out for long. We've got some Oregon friends tuning in. Woohoo! Hi from Eugene and Portland. Welcome to the Washington beaches here. Glad to have ya. Awesome. Okay, that makes 2 healthy ochre stars for us so far. And we're kind of doing the swoop back, so we'll be kind of a little more in the wind and the rain as we go. Looking around, trying to, do our best between walking, talking, and getting the light right so you can see what's happening. Cool. For those of you who haven't been to Maple Hollow before, this is a pretty cool beach. It has a nice little trail that's, I'd say, under a mile. Take a walk down to the water, have a picnic. We have a nice little spot right at the end of the stairs. There's this beautiful big tree that kind of gives us a hug out of the weather. And then, there's the koala tree, where Josie and Kinsey like to hang off of that. I'm gonna check out this boulder here. See if we have any friends clinging to the edges. And some of that nice sea lettuce. Red algae. No sea stars. Warm. And so for this survey, we kind of did the low part of the beach first. And now we're up on kind of a higher area of the intertidal zone. So we're not like double counting sea stars potentially. Places like Fox Island Sandspit, where there are just hundreds of leather stars. That's pretty important because you don't want to double count. What? So many stars. Leather stars, I think, did surprisingly well against sea star wasting disease, which is great for them. So sad for our sunflower stars.
Lots of shrimps in there.
Yeah, lots of shrimp. I don't know if you can see one on that cockle shell. In a green color. Lets me wonder that it's probably eating that sea lettuce. This is a heptacarpus species of some sort. And then a nice little crab here. Yeah, this is a green shore crab. I think it just caught a shrimp for dinner. You lucky little one. Enjoy that. For those of you just joining, welcome, welcome. We're out at Maple Hollow Park doing some sea star wasting surveys. So far we've seen 2 ochre stars. And so if you want to catch up with what you've missed / forward through these sandy parts, this video will be posted at the end after we're done, and that'll be available, and then we'll get it up on the Harbor Wild Watch YouTube page as well. So if you haven't subscribed already, that's a place where Harbor Wild Watch has some goals to grow. So pop on over to the Harbor Wild Watch YouTube channel, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate that for how those algorithms work. Okay, so I'm really curious to see if we can find this star that Mike mentioned. So our crew is, okay, yeah, you can't see anything. It is dark. It is kind of stormy. But somewhere in here, Mike said there was a mottled star, which this is kind of like sea star survey cheating, where like you've already kind of pre-surveyed the area in a way. But would be fun to show you all. Get a nice comparison on our video here. Okay, see, these might be our footprints. Like, where's our transect line for the -1? Hard to tell when you don't have all your markers out. And then picking on rocks. Part of me is like expecting this like bright orange sea star to be like, hello, here I am. But they are a variety of colors. They can be reddish and purplish, kind of a mute orange, which would blend in really nicely with everything here currently. Really itching my nose, getting running. There's an Ashley. Nice boots. Anyways, thank you again for those of you night owls tuning in. It's fun to bring the beach to you. Hopefully you're nice and warm wherever you may be. We'll maybe kind of find one more cool thing to feature, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up for the evening. So if you have any last minute burning questions you'd like to ask about this park or what we're seeing, you're welcome to do that. Let's see, what's a cool thing for us to talk about? A lot of kind of smaller rocks. Like, maybe we could go find some flatworms. Those are... Nice oyster shell. Like, we might go up just a couple more feet for our flatworm friends. That's kind of a fun thing about beach monitoring, is you start to get to know where to expect to find different creatures. So sometimes you can look at a rock and be like, oh yeah, this is a good flatworm rock. Yeah, all you need is a good boulder. I already see one cool snail.
We have
dog winkle.
Is a gunnel over here?
Yeah, okay, so we started the video with a gunnel. Here's another one. Woo! We like these nice head-sized rocks because we can handle them easily. Oops, sorry. Alright, you look cold there, little fish.
He does look cold.
Love seeing those pectoral fins though, so we know it's not a true eel because it has those fins. Very cute. Can again survive out of water as long as it's wet, which is a great adaptation for a fish that lives in a place that's dry part of the time. Oh, so cute. Wriggly. I'm also loving this snail here. It's called a frilled dog winkle.
It's a very pretty shell.
Yeah, I would like that as a hermit crab home. And then we'll do one more flip. See some mussels on this rock. You might get skunked on the flatworms. So it sounds to me like y'all, will have to tune in with us tomorrow. We'll have a little New Year's Eve beach monitoring because, you know, when there's no places to go and celebrate, you might as well plan to do some work. So we'll be monitoring another one of our 11 sites tomorrow evening, and you're welcome to tune in for that and see what we see as we do some science out on the beach at night here with Harbor Wild Watch. So thank you all for watching tonight, and we're gonna
One more gunnel.
one more gunnel to end the video. Perfect. So if you enjoyed this, please like, share, all that good stuff. I wasn't able, I think the service out here might not be quite as good as normal, so you can make donations on the website rather than this Facebook link, but we appreciate that as well during these weird wild times. But with that, we're gonna sign out. Let's big cheers to Ashley as I blind her with my light, and see you tomorrow at the beach.